No, we are going to upcountry locations because I feel that going to villages is a nice cause, but we might be jumping the gun at this point of time. So the next step is about going to upcountry locations, say a location like a Hubli or a Dharwad or a Bijapur or a Gulbarga, rather than to a complete village place. Find out youth from there. We have already have a database of about 25,000 youth and create opportunities for them which can help them circumvent their geographical disadvantage. The geographical advantage of Bangalore is that you are in Bangalore, you are in the center of an ecosystem, opportunities.
Yeah.
So get to the next level part of it. So that's exactly what we are trying to do together.
Ramya, what does being a global shaper mean to you?
It's a global recognition. It's also a platform where, like I said, like-minded people get together, other global shapers get together. And this kind of recognition, I think, also gives you a bigger platform, a bigger kind of opportunity to kind of, there's more help, there's more, you know, for you to do more, I think. It's not confined to just Karnataka or to Bangalore, it's more global. I think that's what it really means to me, which that kind of appreciation also kind of puts pressure on you and has more expectations from you to do much more and much better.
Ramya, you are an accomplished actress, busy shooting most of the time. Can you do justice to this initiative?
You know, I think, sir, if you have priorities in life, you automatically make time for it. And acting is not something that I do every day of the month. I kind of space out my work. So I think I have time for my priorities, and my priority is definitely the initiatives taken by Sangeet and the Global Shapers Foundation.
I can vouch for the fact that Divya or Ramya is actually Ramya.
He calls me Divya, so it's a little weird for him to call me Ramya.
Yeah, I can actually vouch for the fact that Ramya, being a very accomplished actress, being completely filled out in her schedules and things like that, still takes out time to do socially relevant activities like this. I still remember her after we met you at the Times of India office for that editorial session. The next 6 months, she would have given me at least 4 or 5 calls saying that let's do this initiative. So for example, she was very actively thinking about a plastic-free initiative. So that's one thing which we are still working on, as in how to make Bangalore plastic-free, how to make Bangalore an environmental friendly city. So that's one initiative. Second one, how to make our roads more secure, safe and things like that. That's another initiative which she spoke to me about.
Educating the slum women.
Educating the slum women. She's very passionate. So I can see that she's very passionate.
An actor, activist.
Yeah, sounds good.
Earlier you called her intellectual actor. So now she's got to go.
So I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Sangeet, how is this initiative relevant to Bangalore? You can also answer
what we're doing tomorrow, for tomorrow, where we're trying to get the corporate companies to come together to kind of sponsor people's education in Bangalore. So that's one of the things that we're doing. That's the relevance. That's why we've chosen global shapers from Bangalore who can lend their support to these people who need assistance in whatever, professionally, financially, right?
I completely agree to that. My vision, sir, about this initiative is that if you look at the 15th century Europe, there is the Renaissance and the Reformation movement took place at that point of time. So what was the cause of that Reformation movement? There was something which is called the Medici effect, which simply means that there is this very wealthy banker who brought in people like a Leonardo da Vinci and a Titian and a Erasmus and all these kind of intellectual people onto one platform, and boom, there is a Renaissance happened. So in my mind, at least, I am working on a Medici effect way by just bringing together Ramya along with a Pankaj, along with a Funny, who are from completely diverse sectors, but again, they would end up picking up their brains. They are brilliant in their territories, and they would end up getting better ideas to actually go ahead and probably make Bangalore a much, much better place than you and I have ever seen.
Yeah. I'd like to add something to that. I just met Arundhati outside, and she said she's into mentoring. And she said she's been mentoring these kids from government schools in Mysore. And I said, I'd love to come. So you see, there's already a connection, and we've already moved one step ahead. So I think it's, already creating waves, and it's about getting forces together to do something bigger and better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just focusing on Bangalore. It's a big city. We need to concentrate. Sangeet, what do you think would be the ideas or areas that need to be catalyzed to deal with Bangalore's most pressing problems? You can also answer. So let Sangeet answer.
Yeah.
So one thing which I am very sure about is that most of the pressing problems in the world, they're not really dictated by one variable. They're dictated by various variables which we cannot control. So a few variables we might be able to control. For example, on the Bangalore roads, the Bangalore traffic part of it, we might not be able to control when people get out and things like that. But what we can control is putting in a rules and regulations in place, going out there and being educating people about it. So some of the variables which we can control, and all these pressing problems remain pressing problems because they are pressing problems. You can't just solve it with one stroke of a pen. So what we are trying to do is that by bringing in somebody like a Ramya, if she goes out and talks about educating slum women or creating more opportunities for the youth, I'm sure that quite a lot of people would come out and start practicing that.
No, I also think that more than me actually going and reaching out to people and talking to them about, how to be responsible, I think the change has to come from within. I think that people are now kind of fed up with what's happening around, and they're expecting change from others, expecting change from the government, expecting change from people that they vote for. I think instead of expecting change from the others, we need to change ourselves. It could be the smallest things of you make a decision, you make a choice today that I will follow lane discipline. This is how it's going to be, and I think if you kind of incorporate that in your everyday life, I think slowly it will start kind of rippling effect, I think, on others as well. I think that has, so in this, like, I just, for instance, I don't really like to talk about what exactly I'm doing, because I don't want people to do it because Ramya is doing charity or she feels for a cause. You have to feel from within. And if you don't feel from within, you're going to be disillusioned because you want to do something and it might fizzle out. You might want results and it's not in the long run. But if you feel for something from your heart, from within, it's going to be something for the long run. And you want change to happen slowly, but definitely. So I think that no matter how much I tell people to do this, to do that, they have to feel from within. They have to do it because they want to do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
I also feel that I partly agree with Ramya. At the same time, I also feel that quite a lot of people are looking out for nudges, a small push from the back, right? So that nudges happen when the people that we admire, people that we look up to. It could be a Ramya, it could be a Fanindra Sama. For quite a lot of young entrepreneurs in the city, he being listed in the top 50 most innovative companies, along with Google and companies like that by the Fast company. When he comes out and gives them a small nudge, that's more than enough. Or an Arundhati Gupta doing that, or somebody else doing that. So that is a nudge which we are also trying to produce.
No.
Ramya, you are in politics now.
No.
You have joined Youth Congress.
Yeah.
And you campaigned for the Udupi elections and Congress won.
Yes.
How different is politics from films and being a global shaper?
Well, films is all about entertainment. It's not a serious business. Politics, the question is at stake is your country. I love my country, and I think there are a lot of people who fought for our freedom, and this is not the direction that I want to see my country headed. And this is not the country that I would want to keep for my children. And that's why I told myself that if I want a change, if I want to see my country change, I have to be actively involved in politics. So if you look at America, either you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. Well, yes, I understand that in India we have different parties, but I think you have to be involved. You cannot just sit in one chair and crib and complain and say, oh, this is not right, that is not right. Because if you're just going to be sitting and complaining, nothing is going to happen. If you think politics is dirty, how do you expect to clean it out? People have to get involved in politics because it's your country that we're talking about. And when I went campaigning, for example, to all these places, I only try to educate people and tell them that why is it so important to vote? Because the responsibility is ours. only if we vote for the right candidate can we see a progress in India, because that person we vote is representing us in the Lok Sabha, and they are the ones who are going to take your problems and find you solutions for that. And if you vote for somebody who is not eligible or who doesn't deserve to be serving you, then everything goes kaput.